3 teens were arrested today for defacing the Kensington Park War Memorial overnight. The destruction includes painted messages against the military and the war in the Middle East. The 3 teens were picked up in the early morning hours after evidence was left at the scene.
Grandpa, something wrong?
Some people sure have short memories, and those who are too young to know need to be taught. Come on, I want to show you guys something.
Yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy. The United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked by naval and air forces of the Empire of Japan.
At dawn on the morning of the 6th of June, 1944, 225 Rangers jumped off the British landing craft and ran to the bottom of these cliffs. 225 came here. After 2 days of fighting, only 90 could still bear arms. These are the boys of Puente Hope. These are the men who took the cliffs. These are the champions who helped free a continent. These are the heroes who helped end a war. You are men who in your, quote, lives fought for life and left the vivid air signed with your honor.
In the name of God and country, I learned to defy gravity.
To honor my family,
I lived in the belly of a beast.
I fixed the hearts of iron monsters.
I became a worm in the mud for dignity,
for honor,
for righteousness' sake,
for God and country.
I fought for you.
I fought for you.
for you.
I fought for you.
I fought for you.
I fought for you.
I fought for you.
For you.
For you.
For you.
For you.
I fought for you.
I fought for you.
I fought for you, and I'd do it again.
And so for those of you who have been or are in the military, will you please stand? And if you will, please remain standing for a moment. For those of you who are first responders, doctors, nurses, police officers, firemen, and women, will you please stand? And if you'll remain standing, for those of you who possibly have lost a loved one in war, will you please stand? And I'm going to ask each of you, if you will, stand and give these individuals a standing ovation. Thank you for your service. We honor you. And with that, we're going to go right into our meditation song. And if you will, just take in a deep breath and know that this is the Spirit of God. And as you exhale, just let go and allow the Spirit of God to wash over your mind and your heart. And so, dear God, we ask for your peace. May your peace wash over our minds and just allow God's peace to cleanse your mind. Anything that is unlike peace is just simply lifted and released. Peace prevails. We ask, dear God, for your peace in our hearts. Anything that is unlike peace, just as simply dissolved. Our hearts are now just cleansed and purified. We ask for peace within every cell, every atom of our being. Let peace just wash over your entire being. And just take a few moments to just be in peace. And now, as we slowly and gently come back, peace is in our hearts, in our minds, and we go forward to spread the peace of God. For this, dear God, we do give thanks. And so it is. Amen.
I dreamed of rain and the rains came, soft and easy, sweet and clear. I dreamed of rains and the rains came, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of summer and the winds changed. The green was easy, the rivers ran clear. I dreamed of summer and the winds changed, and peace spread over the land. And the flowers bloom in the desert, and the air is fresh and clear. I dreamed of rains and the rain came, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of freedom and the moon rose, and the way was easy and the path was clear. I dreamed of freedom and the moon rose, and peace spread over the land. And the guardian stars are shining, and the night is bright and clear. I dreamed of freedom and the moon rose, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of heaven and the earth sang, and the song was easy and the sound was clear. I dreamed of heaven and the earth sang, and peace spread over the land. And the ancient pain is forgotten, and the Father's debts are clear. I dreamed of heaven and the earth sang, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of rain and the rains came, and peace spread over the land.
Oh, that was a perfect song. Thank you. So heartfelt. Oh, well, the day was April the 20th, 1999. At that time, I was the minister at the Unity Church in Denver, Colorado. And I didn't live too far away from the church, so I decided that I would go home at lunchtime and I would try to color my own hair for the first time out of a box. I had the bottle in hand, rubbed its contents on my scalp, put the cap on, and there I was making lunch, and I turned on the television. And there was an alert that came on that said that there had been a shooting at the Columbine school. In shock, something bigger took over. Something bigger than my little self took over, and I went into hyperspeed. I called the church staff and I said, get our prayer chaplains and have them call each person in our congregation, make sure that they're doing okay, and let them know that the church is going to have a prayer vigil tonight at 6:30. Have signs put out in our property to announce to the passerbys that our church is open, that we are here for prayer and to support them. Have prayer chaplains available throughout the sanctuary and have them hold a high frequency so that when people walk in, they feel lifted, they feel nurtured, they feel comforted, and make sure that I get the names of those people who have been personally affected. So we went down the list of all the things to do so that we could be a refuge for Denver, for the people of Denver, the people of Colorado. And then I realized that I had forgotten about my hair. And to my added shock, when I took the cap off, it had turned bright red. And it was straw-like. I looked like Bozo the Clown. And I had to put my ego aside. I just put a scarf on my head and I just kept going. My friends, when there are tribulations, the ego must be put aside. Turned out there were some congregants in our church that were directly affected by those shootings. As you can imagine, everyone in the state of Colorado was in a deep, deep state of sadness. And the blessing was we could feel the rest of the country praying for us, holding us in a high frequency. We felt lifted by those who were in prayer with us. The president at the time, Bill Clinton, gave a speech to Columbine and to the rest of Colorado. And he said, I have to say, I think what has impressed me the most is the way in the midst of this you have held on to your faith. And he went on to say, in scriptures, St. Paul says that all of us in this life see through a glass darkly. So we must walk in faith, not by sight. We cannot lean on our own wisdom. None of this can be fully, adequately explained to any of you, he said, but you cannot lose your faith. His words then ring even more true now. We cannot lose our faith. So at the time, I appreciated that President Clinton did not make it political and that the rest of the country did not offer the typical egoic anger or division. Nowadays, it seems like something shocking happens in our country and we forget about our faith. We forget to go higher and it becomes political. It's no secret that our political parties are very polarized. They are tribal in a way, where one camp, one tribe believes one thing and the other tribe believes another thing, and there is no in between. Wouldn't it be wonderful if we had another party called the Thrive Tribe? I borrowed that phrase from Reverend Cathy Lewis, the Thrive Tribe, where we were committed to a higher vibration. You see, for me, it kind of feels like Groundhog Day with the drama and the division. But my friends, when things like this happen, it is an invitation for us to go higher, not lower. In John 16:33, it says, I have said these things to you that in me you may have peace. In me, meaning in your true nature, your God self, your Christ self, your Buddha self, in me. In the world you will have tribulation, but take heart, for I have overcome the world. There is a vibration a lot higher than what is in the world. My friends, it resides within you. The kingdom of heaven is within you. In the world, yes, you will always have tribulation, but take heart within you. That kingdom of heaven, that Christ self, that Buddha self far exceeds what goes on in the world. These words of comfort in John 16:33 should cause us all to sit up and take notice. I love old movies. How many of you love old movies? I love old movies. I love them. And there's an old movie I watch from time to time because it is so very spiritual and it is so very profound. It touches me deeply every time I watch it. Forewarning though, there are a couple of politically incorrect statements because it was made in 1937, so we'll give them a pass. It's one of my favorite top 10 movies. It's called Lost Horizon by Frank Capra. Yeah, many of you know which one this is. And by the way, it was filmed in my hometown of Ojai. I love that. So the story begins where there's 5 lost travelers. They're being rescued after a plane crash where they're in the Tibetan mountains. So the plane crashes, they're in the Tibetan mountains. All they see is snow, and it looks like they're in the middle of nowhere, and their faith is waning. Because who would ever know that they're there? And then all of a sudden, people are coming out of nowhere. There's approximately 50 rescuers. Where did they come from? Little did those lost travelers know that they are being led by grace to the hidden realm, a spiritual realm of Shangri-La, the land of eternal contentment and the fountain of youth. Nobody ages there. The lost travelers follow the rescuers, and there's this one scene I want to share with you here today. Each one of them are climbing up this treacherous cliffside on the mountainside, and they're tied to each other by a very strong, thick rope, one after another. The rope is their lifeline, and not one of them stands alone. And they're working as one unit, assisting each other as each one of them are connecting. My friends, this is the same for us. This is the same for you and me. Each one of us are connected here together. Not one of us stands alone. As we listen to the news about the shootings in this country, many of us are asking, what can I do? And the greatest thing that we can do is throw out a lifeline. And the strongest lifeline you can offer anyone is the lifeline of prayer. Why is that? Because through prayer, you tap into the operation of higher laws. Through prayer, you release a potent spiritual force that shatters fixed states of mind. You see, prayer changes things. It changes the frequency of your body, of your mind, of your emotions, of your well-being, of your life. Within the last 10, 15 years or so, you have people such as Greg Braden, Joe Dispenza, Lynn McTaggart, who have witnessed groups of people in prayerful intentions, and in that they have seen bodies being healed, states of depression being lifted, crimes being lowered. They have seen people with Parkinson's, with blindness, with arthritis being healed. You name it, group prayerful intentions send out a vibrational lifeline that brings forth the miraculous. Imagine this group, one mind, one heart, one prayerful consciousness. But here's the thing. You can't just focus in on peace and healing during this Sunday, this time of prayer, this time of coming together, and then be angry the rest of the week. How many of us have done that? Both my hands are up. Note, you must live the prayer. You must embody the frequency. You must be the living prayer. That, my friends, is mastery. That is spiritual mastery. Lynn McTaggart, in her book, The Power of Eight, where she talks about prayer groups of 8, found that when people came together with group intention, a group prayer, there was a miraculous boomerang effect that happened. She found that the participants, those who were praying for others, they were also being transported into altered states. They felt closer to their loved ones, closer to strangers. Their own bodies were being healed, and they felt like they had a more peaceful life. Now, bear in mind, everything is energy, right? We know this to be true. Everything is energy vibrating at different frequencies. Even our thoughts are units of mental energy with different vibrations. And as we know here, that is the basis of all manifestation of the law of attraction. Whatever your predominant vibration is, will draw similar energetic vibrations to you. Remember, the universe matches energy. That's all it does. Fashioned after our co-founder, Charles Fillmore, he always needed to find the scientific results behind these spiritual teachings. So here's some scientific research that I mentioned a few weeks back, but for the purpose of why we want to talk about this today, it bears repeating. Science has found that when we have a feeling in our hearts, we are creating an electric and magnetic energy that from inside our bodies that extends beyond our bodies out into the world around us. And where I get personally enthusiastic about this is that what they have discovered is that the waves of energy that leave from you don't extend just 1 yard or 2 yards beyond your body, but many, many miles beyond where you physically reside. Take that in for a moment, just sit with it. Right now, where you are, your energy is going miles around you. That's what they have found in science. So when you are holding the high watch for others, there is this electrical, magnetic energy that goes out into the world around us where people, places, and circumstances, they resonate with that. They're feeling that. So we are one, y'all. We are one. When you look at planet Earth and the energy that goes out from each individual, we're feeling that. So right now in this sanctuary, as a group consciousness coming together for a higher thought and higher prayer, we are having a positive effect on each other. And beyond these walls, we are having a positive effect beyond the city of Santa Barbara. Can I get an amen? Amen. And this is why group prayer, group consciousness can be so very powerful. You may think that you are a self-contained energy. How many of you have thought that before? We have all thought that every single day, where we think, oh, it's just me. It's just a self-contained energy, but it's quite the opposite. Energetically, either positive or negative, you are making an impact. And that is why when we sing, "Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me," it begins with you. It begins with each one of us individually. Now, not too long ago, there was one of you that asked me, "Reverend Cathy, I've noticed that when you lead us in prayer and meditation, you have us recall something from the past. Why is that?" And there are a few reasons why. Number one, you cannot give something away that you haven't already claimed as your own. So when you tap into that past energy, that past frequency that you already have inside of you, you can share it in prayer and meditation. For instance, some time ago, I came across a video that showed a woman from the United States who decided to go to a medicine-less, try saying that with dyslexia, a medicine-less hospital in Beijing, China. Meaning that this hospital does not use medicine whatsoever. The woman had been diagnosed with cancer in her bladder. It was a 3-inch in diameter tumor. And the Western doctors were telling her that they couldn't do anything for her. So she didn't believe the diagnosis. So she went to Beijing, where they thought differently. And there, they applied faith and prayer rather than fear. So in the video, I saw 3 practitioners who were trained to feel just a right feeling. They created this feeling within themselves as if the woman was already healed. They also had a sonogram over her bladder where the cancer was, and the woman was awake, conscious. She had no anesthesia. Her only requirement that they asked of her was that she needed to believe in the process. Then the practitioners started chanting a word, "Wasa." Not what's up, it's wasa. Wasa. Wasa, meaning already happened. In their mind and in their hearts, they created the feeling and the energy that the healing already happened. They claimed the end result because they had already experienced the end result in their past. And they brought forth that energy from their past that they knew that it had already happened. That energy they brought forward to present to that time-space reality. Not that it was going to happen, not that it was about to happen, or that there was a slow, long process of it happening, that it already happened. They focused in on the end result. And on the sonogram, you could see the cancer completely disappear within 3 minutes. It completely dissolved. And this video was amazing to watch because in Western medicine, we would think that was a miracle, but Western medicine thinks that what we feel has no effect on our bodies. In medicine-less hospitals such as that, healings are a normal occurrence. Today, you must remember that you are not a physical being in a physical universe. You are an energetic, vibrational being in an energetic, vibrational universe. So this is important for us to always see the end result in ourselves and in each other. You see, where two or more are gathered, there is where the miraculous occurs. The second part is why I pray and meditate the way I do, where I ask you to call forth something from your past, is that together we magnify that energy when we send it out to each other. And there might be people in our vicinity that aren't quite yet there, so we are lifting them up in consciousness. And thirdly, there is this boomerang effect that happens where what you send out increases in your life. This kind of prayer is the most highly significant act that you can perform. To be the people that rise in consciousness that there is something within you that is unmoved by the things of the world. And we can be moved by the things of the world, right? We saw that this week. When you pray, you release a potent spiritual energy that is released in no other way. So today, you and I are going to throw out a lifeline. We're throwing out a lifeline not only to each other, we're throwing out a lifeline to our brothers and sisters in Texas. We're throwing out a lifeline to our country. We're throwing out a lifeline to planet Earth. So I'm going to ask you in one single potent force to come together with me as we are of service to those in need. I'm going to ask you to close your eyes for a moment. And I'm going to ask you, if you will, to remember a time when you had a peace that was beyond all understanding. I don't know what that might have been for you in your life, but it might have been maybe when you had some good news, or you had this aha moment where you knew without a doubt that you are a child of God. Whatever that might be, just recall that time of great, great peace. I want you to now allow that peace to magnify within every part of your being. Allow that peace to radiate through every cell, every atom. And now let us extend that peace to each person here as well as to those that are watching us online. As we magnify that peace, there might be people that are either watching us or here in this sanctuary that just quite can't get to that place of peace. So we're throwing you a lifeline. Let us magnify that peace. Send it out to each person here. As that peace is just magnified, now let us send it out to this city of Santa Barbara. Remember, everything that we feel is extended miles from us. Together, we are able to extend it miles. And we now send this lifeline of peace to the state of Texas. to all those who were directly affected by the shootings this last week, we send you magnified peace, the peace of God. Let us now send this peace, and it continues to magnify it. The more we send it out, the more it comes back, the more it gets more powerful. Together as a single potent force, we now send out this peace to our United States. We send this peace now to our whole planet. Wherever there might be darkness, we call forth peace. Wherever there might be ill will, we call forth peace. Wherever there might be judgments, we call forth peace. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with each one of us here as we throw out the lifeline. And so, dear God, we give thanks for this time together. We give thanks that there's not a spot where your peace is not, for you are everywhere present, and peace is there. So just take a moment, feel that peace, live the prayer of peace. Move from this sanctuary throughout your week in a state of peace. For this blessing, dear God, we do give thanks. And so it is. Amen. And so this is the time in our service where we take up our tithes and offerings. And I'm going to ask the ushers if they will come forward. Our affirmation is, I hold the vision of unity of Santa Barbara. That's right, I do. Bada bing. I hold the vision of unity of Santa Barbara as the thriving, loving, spiritual community it is meant to be. Let's say this together. Together, I hold the vision of unity of Santa Barbara as the thriving, loving, spiritual community it is meant to be. And for those of you that have your gifts in your hands, we'll give it a special blessing. And for those of you online, and I know that there's some of you that give online, then just know that we have different ways to take your offerings, and that is unitysb.org. You can go there, or you can also download the app Givelify, and we have that you'll be able to give in that way. And we also are open and receptive to taking your credit cards right outside at the welcome table. So let us take our blessing, and I'm going to ask each of you to say it consciously with me, but we're going to do it a little different, so follow along. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am. Take that in. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have. Just take that in. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I share. Really be conscious of that, because as you share here, you know it's coming back to you 1,000-fold and more in return. And so, dear God, I give thanks for each of the givers here today, as each person has given from a heart of kindness and generosity, and we know that it comes back to them in miraculous and wonderful ways. For this, we do give thanks, and so it is. Amen.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. So blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed.
I invite you all to sing with me on this one. Super easy. We are living in the heart of God.
Nothing is ever lost, and we are not forgotten. We are living in the heart of God. Nothing is ever lost, and we are not forgotten. We are living in the heart of God. We are living, we are living, we are living in the heart of God. We are living, we are living, we are living in the heart of God. Morning sun coming through the trees, and the green leaves shimmer on the summer breeze. Songbirds singing to the honeybees, living in the heart of God. We are living, we are living, we are living in the heart of God. We are living, we are living, we are living in the heart of God. After the dazzle of day is done, the moon makes love to the setting sun. The stars are twinkling one by one, living in the heart of God. We are living, we are living, we are living in the heart of God. We are living, we are living, we are living in the heart of God.
Shawn, we thank you. What they don't know is that we had another soloist that was supposed to be here, and she came at the last minute. I bow to you. It's not always easy to come in at the last minute, and I am most grateful. Thank you. Well, we do have some closing announcements, and for those of you that would love to volunteer, we need some volunteers for setup and breakdown outside. As you notice, we have beautiful tables and umbrellas, and we do that so that people can stay afterwards, enjoy each other's company. So if you would like to volunteer for that, we would love some volunteers. Peggy will be right outside here at our welcome table, and she will take down your name and number. Also, how many of you have ever read a book that transformed your life? Anybody? There have been so many in my life where they transport me into a higher frequency. Well, we have books now in our bookstore, and we're hoping that you will go there to not only purchase some of the books, but if you would like to volunteer as being someone who will just man the bookstore for us. We are also looking for donations, so if you would like to donate towards our bookstore, we can buy some new books for those that may be here for the first time and they're looking for that one book that will transport them into nirvana. Also, if you know of someone that would like to rent out our facility, we have, as you know, this is beautiful. Allison Jordan really helped with just the outside. I mean, there have been people in this congregation that have made this facility so beautiful. So if you know of anyone that would like to rent our space for memorials, for weddings, for seminars, we do have a referral program. All you need to do is contact Forrest Lightberg at Forrest with 2 R's at unitysb.org. Now, at the fountain over here, you will see that we have our prayer box. We have a wonderful prayer team, and they will be praying with you for all your prayer requests. So make sure that you put your prayer requests in the prayer box at our, I believe we're now calling this the transformational fountain right outside here, or the fountain of youth, maybe. We're experimenting with different names. Also, the Ukraine Benefit Concert is June the 3rd at 7 o'clock at the First Ukrainian Evangelical Baptist Church. And we have a number, well, our choir is going to be there. We have different musicians that will be there, and all the donations will go directly to the humanitarian aid for the Ukrainians. For more information, it is in our weekly e-blast. And if you would like to honor a person, a pet, or a life event with a flower dedication like we have here, just contact Peggy Haskell, Peggy at Unity SB. She's right there. She's waving at everybody. Just go to the welcome table. She'll take your name. And next Sunday is Friendship Sunday. Make sure to bring a friend if you have any. We'd love for you to bring them. All right, so, and also just to let you know that we have office hours now, and the office and the Shirley Campbell Chapel hours are Tuesday through Thursday, 11 to 3 o'clock. And with that, now let us stand and sing our peace song.
Peace on earth, peace that will
and join me in the prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am that light. The love of God enfolds us. I am that love. The power of God protects us. I am that power. The presence of God watches over us. I am that presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And so it is. Amen.